Politics, Ugandan style. 35 miles east of the capital Kampala, a frenzy. This man is standing as an independent candidate, challenging an MP from the ruling party. These are scenes Uganda's President Museveni wants to show the world. Free and fair elections in a country with a history of brutal dictators. The promise of change in this former colony is why Britain gives Uganda so much money, £700 million in investment and aid last year. And why its president stands tall on the world stage. But is this a sham? Newsnight understands President Museveni's government has been cementing his grip on power with the help of a secret surveillance programme, bugging the phones of his opponents, intercepting their emails, gathering information for blackmail. And he seems to be doing it with technology developed by a British firm based in Hampshire. Gamma Group International sells spy systems and surveillance kits to foreign governments. They're supposed to be used for legitimate counter-terrorism operations. But the documents we've seen indicate that Uganda and possibly other governments are using it for different purposes. Astonishingly, this might include Syria. This poses questions not just for Uganda, but for Gamma too. This is a document passed to Privacy International. Marked top secret, it appears to have been prepared by an intelligence official for the president about Operation Funguo Macho, meaning open your eyes. Its aim was simple and ambitious.
To covertly collect information and data from the leading opposition entities so as to be a step ahead of them, which may involve blackmailing them.
And within the document, a claim, unsubstantiated, that the software had also been sold to Syria, though exactly when isn't clear.
It is used by countries like Nigeria, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Senegal and most recently Kenya. It is also the main tool that has been employed by the Syria government.
The marabou stalks, gliding over Kampala. Nothing escapes them. A view the president seems to have craved. The question is, why? Four years ago, the president was in trouble. He'd just been re-elected, but there were the seeds of an uprising. Opponents of his 26-year rule protested by walking to work together. In North Africa, the Arab Spring was in bloom. In Kampala, they were crushed. Was your brother involved in protests or demonstrations?
No, he wasn't. Poor man, he wasn't in politics.
For some, the scars won't heal. This woman's brother was shot dead.
Gunmen came from this side, moving when they reached here. When he saw gunmen coming, he wanted to come out from that smaller building. They shot him here, and he died there and then.
Nobody has been brought to justice. The January 2012 document was smuggled out of Uganda. It speaks of
the success rate we have had, especially in curtailing the walk-to-work demos that started this week. With our implants and embeds, we've been able to get hordes of information revealing secret plans and manage and control media houses.
Before we came to Kampala, we had to choose our hotel carefully. Why? Because we were leaked this list of the 21 major hotels in the city that are being bugged. That means anyone staying in any of these hotels risks being spied on. The document adds,
"We've made tremendous success and a lot of data is streaming in, especially from business centres of the hotels."
The Capital Gang on 91.3 Capital FM.
I know for sure that the method of decision making.
Little surprises this man, Dr. Kizza Besigye, leader of Uganda's main opposition party, the FDC, which is explicitly mentioned as a target in the document we have seen.
So we don't know what they represent. Danger is a situation in which we permanently live. Wherever I go, I am followed by police officers in civilian clothes. My vehicle is shadowed by motorcycles of policemen wherever I go, including sometimes entering meetings that I attend.
Amama Mbabazi was Prime Minister here until last year. He fell out with the President and is now running against him and feeling his wrath.
I know, for example, that they tap me. They tap my phones, they have surrounded my house with all manner of gadgets to pick what is going on in my house. And yet, they have no authority to do that because there is no court order. So again, this is a violation. It's not application of the law. It's abuse of it.
Uganda is months away from presidential elections. Old-style vote rigging is said to be a thing of the past here. But with technology like this, maybe you don't need to.
If you're saying we want to have free and fair elections, it's not just the day of when people cast their ballots, their votes. It starts from the time that they are campaigning. Are they free to campaign? Are they free to move around the country and send out their message?
So just how powerful are these surveillance systems?
In order to initiate this process, I would send you...
Richie Tynan from Privacy International demonstrated using technology similar to Gamma's.
The first step in this process is that...
He starts by sending me an enticing email.
It says, last night's news night, with the link, what do you think?
I click on it. Big mistake.
It's already connected back to this machine over the internet, and I'm now sending down the malware.
Richie starts logging every key I type. He can also view the screen and turn on my video camera and microphone without me realising.
Of course, when you have to type in your password now goes to my machine. Pretty much know everything there is to know about you from the moment that that you have installed this software in your machine.
On the last day of our trip, we finally got our interview with a government spokesman. We asked him what was going on.
I'm not aware of an order having been given or having been authorized to surveil anybody. So those who are making that allegation, the onus is on them to prove it, that they are being surveilled, that their phones are being tapped. When they tapped them, when did they do that? What did they tap? What did they cause? So it's them, the onus is those who allege to prove. Really, for me, I have no evidence that they are being surveilled.
But let me just ask that question again then. Is there a spy program against these people?
Not to my knowledge.
Well, we think there might be.
What for?
To give President Museveni an advantage over his political opponents.
If you spied on them, what value would that spy bring home to the government that the government doesn't know or doesn't have to their advantage? I don't see it. What?
It allows the president to know what the plans of his political opponents are. And that's unfair in a democracy.
But you see, that one is not done by state agents, right?
2 weeks ago, we also submitted a series of written questions to the Ugandan government to clarify details about Operation Fungua Macho. We still haven't had a response. However, in a letter to Privacy International, a Ugandan government spokesman denied the surveillance operation existed. These aren't just questions for the Ugandans. We asked Gamma about the apparent supply of its equipment to Kampala. We also asked them what protocols they had in place to make sure their systems aren't being used for oppression. There are international guidelines that demand a company does due diligence. The company, which sells the software through a German subsidiary, told us it could neither confirm or deny the sale to Uganda.
Gamma undertakes an absolute obligation of confidentiality to the governments which purchase its products and systems. Gamma does not assist or encourage any government agency in the misuse of Gamma's products and systems. These products and systems have been effective in many countries in the course of police and other government agency action against terrorist threats, drug cartels, other major organised crime and paedophile rings.
Gamma said it had a human rights policy. We asked for a copy, but it declined to share it with us.
The documents say that the surveillance industry will sell to just about anyone. And it also is proof of the fact that we've been trying to raise all along is these technologies are far too powerful in the hands of governments, and governments will go ahead and abuse them. And so while there are narratives around national security and fighting crime, it is inevitable that governments will use them for their own purposes.
The need for governments to spy on those who pose a genuine terror threat, well, no one's arguing with that. But what's going on here is very different. The systematic targeting of opposition politicians appears to make a mockery of the president's commitment to genuine democracy, and it also poses fundamental questions for those Western companies that are selling this new and powerful technology. Questions that remain unanswered.